don't think that's a lot. What? Oh!
Oh no! Yeah.
Yeah, click it again.
No, I want him to see it.
They can see it.
Anyways, here it's a fucking half hour early. If you're on the replay though, thank you so much for watching the replay. I really appreciate it. Can you hit that like button and can you hit the super chat or super
Vicky's
thanks?
here.
Hi Vicky. And if you hit the super, nope. If you hear that, what is it?
Super chat.
Nope.
Super good.
Nope.
Subscribe.
You know that little button that you can push when you're watching the replay. I mean, I'm not greedy. 40, 50,000. I don't care. Yes. And if you like to hit my stream, nope. This is going to be not one of them nights. It's going to be one of them nights.
Who else is
Hello, everybody. If you would like to hit my Cash App, you know, if you win the lottery tonight, there's no reason why you can't dump a couple thousand in my...
You know, maybe, okay, not to be greedy, but maybe a million.
Yeah, I work hard.
A million's not gonna hurt.
I work very hard, and I deserve it, and I want it. If I don't get it, I'm gonna throw that.
Maybe 2 million.
I'd be happy with $20.
Oh, it's good when Kat joins us. Oh my goodness.
I'm making y'all look at
I love
a very
Vicky.
young Austin Matthews. Okay, hold on. I can't do that. We can. Okay. Catherine's making me take a picture, even though I'm gonna let y'all look at a beautiful man, Austin Matthews with an O. He was younger here though, but it's really cute.
Love him.
Well, you know what? If I win the lottery,
Hi, Peggy.
Skakel. What do y'all know about Skakel? Hello. I do know PDX. In fact, I just recently no.
Just click it. How do I know how to use it and you don't?
Because I'm old.
Yeah, but you use it more than me.
Hi guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Becky, my loving Vicky in state of disorder and this stinky inn. I don't know what that's about, but it's probably going to be a problem. It probably will be a problem. Please don't. I think if we do win the lottery, though, there's going to be a problem because we will move into I want to go to Rivermont, right? Mm-hmm. So we will be in a very beautiful home in Rivermont.
My house.
How am I going to do parodies running up and down the street with people that don't know me?
We'll come here. We'll drive over here. Well, hey, Don.
If I have 700, I'll just build my own road.
Hey, Don, can we borrow your
driveway? Don, I need to borrow that. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I get the Powerball, I'm going to get that house.
Absolutely.
The house I want.
Okay.
The house you hate.
Oh, yeah, the Victorian house. I hate a Victorian.
Okay, guys, I'm doing...
Right, Peggy? I have got my tree out front, which I still have to... I mean, I've shown you all my favorite tree in my yard. It's my favorite tree ever. I'll show you again.
She's been looking kind of ugly recently.
But, yeah, she's going through it. But
I want distant neighbors.
Huh? Anyway, I already have leaves falling from it.
My cat was outside.
You know what? State of disorder. I don't even give a shit. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna run up and down the street. I don't give a hell's fire where I live. It's gonna happen. If they don't like it, move. Hi, Nancy.
My cat was outside the other day, and he was like watching the leaves.
Yeah.
And it was so cute.
He was confused.
He's kind of stupid. I'm gonna do a 3-minute Cat's Corner. I know the people miss it.
Okay.
The people love Cat's Corner. We don't have decorations up. Hi, Nancy. I remember.
Rumor has it.
I feel like you.
Hello, love.
Life's been good. Life's been great. I hate biology. Love script analysis. I have a stalker.
She does.
I do. Yeah.
It's upsetting. Tonight's brought to you by Red Bull Watermelon.
Love Life's going up. That's great. Yeah, everything's looking up for me personally.
Stage managing, assistant
stage managing
for a Greek play.
A Greek play
that has been performed at a college that we know. Hello, Teresa.
Stop it. And people travel from across the country to come see because we're the ones that do it like that.
Yeah.
You know, the show kind of stresses me out and I want to quit it, but never quit a show that you never quit something that you give commitment to because that's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you a failure.
It does.
You know,
You're
unless you have a reason. Unless you have a reason to quit.
Failure.
I didn't do anything.
I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, you're a failure.
Don't fail. It's stupid.
Wow, I guess it was just a 1 minute. Oh, I did the Powerball for the first time. 19 years old. Did my first bit of gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. All right, so I take my hey, Freeside, my angel. I take my mother's.
Oh, my mama watched Hamilton when in 2020 because I loved Hamilton. I was excited to watch Hamilton on Disney Plus. And I said, Mom, you have to watch Hamilton. You have to watch Hamilton.
Yeah, and I planned to sleep through it. I really did. I planned to sleep through it.
And I knew you were because you were laying down in your bed.
I know, and that's
okay. But then she couldn't.
I couldn't stop. But we're going to go to the theater. We're going to go to the theater and watch it.
And I heard that people are singing along.
Well, you'll be out there doing it. I mean, God bless America.
I'll be having chairs and stuff. But yes, she loves Hamilton.
I love Hamilton.
Where are we going?
Hey, Halloween, baby.
I'm 19 years old.
I'm not going to give you any BB spoilers, but they're fucking wonderful. It's wonderful for me.
Anyway. I don't like the way they're doing it, but
whatever. We don't care. I don't care. But no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Nope. Not even one. No.
Julie was voted out.
Julie Chen quit.
Okay, guys, 19 years old. I did my first bit of gambling.
Yes.
I got the Powerball. Would you guys like to know my numbers? Or is that a secret?
I always keep it secret. Why would you keep it secret? Because let them see it when you win it.
Yeah, true. There might be leafs involved.
So yeah, I did my like kids' ages and then me. And then I did NASCAR, Ross Chastain, Blaney, Bubba, you know, anyway. And then I did like easy picks. And then she comes along and we're like running around getting my mother numbers. And she said something about doing the leaf, the Toronto Maple Leafs numbers. And I'm like, I never thought about that. But we had a problem because
like, wait, I'm 19.
Yeah, two of the people we wanted to put in, Slick Willie and Tavares, are
91, 88.
Yeah, 88, 91.
Slick Willie didn't slick in.
Slick Willie did not get in. So we had to go do Domi, which we got one number off. Then we had to put Marshy in there. It's a blow.
I was always going to do Domi. He's 11. I thought he was 10.
Vicky, you probably need to send it again. I'm the world's worst email reader. I really am. I don't know why. I will read them and then I'll like, all right, let me go write that down. And then AD kicks in and I'm getting, I'm painting the ceiling. But if I concentrate on it, please email me again. I'm sorry.
I haven't done a Cat's Corner in a while.
Because you haven't had anything to say.
I have things to say. I'm full of things to say.
Okay, well, bye. Anyway.
I'm not done. Okay. I have an 8 a.m. class, script analysis.
Mm-hmm.
I went to my college for small class sizes. So my first script analysis, 8 a.m. to 10:45.
Okay, nobody cares.
It has 7 students in it. I love it. And it's theater kids. I love it. My next class, though.
So nerds.
Yeah. My next class, though, 32 kids.
It's a tragedy.
What? I hate it. My next class is
Hey, Kimmy Love.
Hey, girl.
I'm trying to get her to go. She will fucking not go.
I want to talk to my friends.
Will you go this way and you upstairs?
No.
Thanks.
Okay. I love you guys.
I love you. Everybody loves you. Bye. We all love you. Bye. Okay. Bye.
I'm going.
Oh, shit, I almost dropped my phone.
Legs tonight.
I think that you don't mean that in a nice way. I tried to get this off the other day, and Catherine has got it triple tape.
No, I don't.
Literally. Oh, do we want to check on the burn? Yeah, that's right. I have that injury. I know, right? My leg burn. looking good. Or this is what I do for y'all. This is why I need to have my pay. No, not my PayPal. I can't stand PayPal. Cash App is got. I need some fucking super chats. Damn it! I've got to heal from this burn, and the only way that that's going to happen is if I get my Temu order.
You did get a Temu order.
I did, but I can't show anybody what that is.
And I asked you.
And I also have an Amazon order. And if I get into the Walmart thing, I'm going to have a Walmart order, and I want money. Sorry. I can't, but you know what? That is true. I can pretend it's a tattoo. They say, what is it? And I'll go, well, what do you think it is? And then when they say what it is, I'll say, there you go. You guessed it. What?
I think it's a sword.
Thank you, Nancy. If I win the Powerball, well, I would say y'all would never see me again, but it's not true. I would be so obnoxious. A case that was worth looking into. You know what
I would do if I won the Powerball?
I don't want to know what you would do. That's the one thing I want to know. You're right it down. Yeah, Amazon, Temu, damn it. A girl's got to live. But I'll tell you what I do want to do. I do want to do this after press scroll. Hold on. I have a brother, hold on, that I found out about a while. Hey, Lacey. Oh, the Martha Mart. She's waving goodbye. I have a brother that I did not know existed until we got Ancestry.com. And he was put up for adoption. And he's in Florida. And in the beginning of the year, I'm going to go down there and meet my brother. Kimmy, a couple of weeks ago, well, I have two Saturday night conspiracy / paranormal / mystery club injuries. Like a month ago, I dropped a curling iron on my leg. It was gross. It was gross. A couple of weeks ago, again, curling iron, I dropped it on my arm. And it's not as bad at all as the one on my leg, but it is still I don't know if I can I might be able to write it off in taxes. Oh no. But yeah, Janie was gonna join us. Hey, Kels. Janie was gonna join us, but she is still not feeling well from the pneumonia. So we need her to heal up good, because next week when we do Maura Murray, we're really going to need her, because, if you don't know about that case, Maura Murray was going through something pretty, substantial when she went missing. And so we need our resident. No. I was straightening my hair today, and I dropped the damn straightener. And this is what happened with the curling iron. I dropped it and I threw my arm up for what reason, I don't know. I guess to try to catch it. I have no idea. But I let the straightener just hit the floor. I thought, I'm not getting any more injuries. No more injuries. No more injuries. So anyway, that's where we went with that. Now, so yeah, I'm gonna miss Janie, but there's a lot of information here with this case, because it is from 1975, and there are multiple, the facts don't change. Hey, Mint Mama. Let me tell you, Mint Mama, what I did. I'm going to toot my own horn here. I have never shared my YouTube channel on my Facebook. I will throw up, maybe some things that happen, but I have never shared my my YouTube on my Facebook, because the people on my Facebook I have a very, maybe, I don't even think I have 200 people. I'm very selective about who's there. But the other day, I took your link, Mitten Mama, and I went over to my Facebook and I said, I need everyone to go. Peggy, No, yeah, but no. So I went over to my Facebook and I put your channel in there and I said, these people, this couple deserves to have 1,000,000,000,000 followers. And I told them about your channel and the recipes and the food and everything. And so I don't know if you got more subscribers, but I did tell them to let you know I sent them. I hope you do. I hope you got, because I have a lot of people in my Facebook that are like really good cooks. So I thought, hey Cheyenne, oh hello, yeah, you need to be huge. You and Joe work too hard. Hey Remy is one of the first a deep dive, and it's a deep dive, right? I mean, it's a deep dive. And there's a lot of things, it went dormant basically a couple months after the murder. It just went nowhere until the 90s. So you had 1975, right? And then nothing happens until the 90s. Go figure. But we're going to talk about it because you can't pretend to be a Kennedy cousin. And that is what Michael Skakel. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going to wait till like a couple when people get in here, and then we're just going to get right into it because it's such a maddening case. And I have my own theory about the murderer. I have the only interview that Tommy Skakel has ever given in it. I found it, and it is from a little dinky ass paper. Didn't that yes, I'm gonna go over that too, because that's the greatest part of the story is the back. That's the best part. We have the Sutton report is what, if y'all don't, it's great. Lacey, you're gonna love this. It's a lot. It's a state of his argument. Yeah, so we're gonna jump right. We have a cast of characters. Mark Furman. And I don't know if you don't know how Mark Furman came into this, you're gonna be I'm gonna tell you exactly how Mark Furman was introduced to this case, by who, and by that person. But there is a cast of characters that we will go through. You will say to yourself, Jesus, hell, this is crazy. And it is. 100%. Martha Moxley was a 15-year-old girl who was born and raised, and Mark Furman's in this, Peggy, for sure. She was a California girl, and her father, who worked for an accounting firm, got a promotion, so they went from California all the way to Greenwich, Connecticut. So you've got these, northeastern, quiet, reserved children, and then here comes Martha, California girl, blonde hair, beautiful, life of the party, loved everybody, couldn't, just blah blah blah, and I think the whole high school was in love with her. She only lived there a little over a year before she was murdered, and she was voted best student, or the best prettiest girl or whatever. It's a lot. Y'all want to get into it? Let's get into it. Okay, let's do it. Let's start this out. And we got Martha, beautiful girl. She had just gotten her braces off. And look at that smile. She was so excited about those braces coming off. Hey, Blonde. Have you ever heard of that? You never heard. Oh, girl, sit down. Sit down, because this is a good one. And I always say that, but this is a really good one. So this is Martha. Beautiful Martha. And I am going to use a part of a video from 48 hours. I'm going to use a couple of their clips of one, I think two are Michael Skakel actually speaking, and then I think another one is a friend of his from the Elon school. Yeah, well, thank you for coming over. I appreciate that. Thank you, Alicia. So yeah, it's so I can tell you what they said, but you kind of got to listen to it because, yeah, yeah. So we are gonna. This is Martha Moxley. Get you some more photographs. That's her and her brother, her older brother, John. They were close. They were really close. This is, this her brother, it's just two, just they were, obviously that was his only sibling. And as we get into the story and as we start talking about her parents and her mother who died, her mother actually died on Christmas Eve 2024. I think she was 94 years old. And that woman has got more dignity and had more dignity in her than the 7 Skakel siblings, their father, and probably a lot more of their family. I couldn't have done what she did. I couldn't have done what her brother did, which is quietly wait. I know it, and she was so smart and she was good at sports. And she was like, one of her friends that she was hanging out with the night that she died, he said everybody in, Belhaven, which is a part of Greenwich, Connecticut, which is where this takes place. Belhaven was a gated community. Back in 1975, there was a gatehouse. You had to know somebody. We're going to look at their houses and see them. But she look at it. There's another picture that's coming. Let me see. That's the whole family. Look at her. Do y'all remember when those rugby shirts were in? Because I remember when they were in. But look, she's just a beautiful girl. There's her and her dad. Can you imagine? And there she is helping out in the backyard. I want y'all to get to know her. This was a good kid. She did get into a little bit of trouble every now and again. She missed a curfew or two. She might have been caught maybe drinking a little beer and smoking some cigarettes. Nothing big, nothing at all big. Let me see what the next picture is. I line the pictures up to kind of keep myself. And this is a photograph of her that's kind of almost everywhere. And at the end of this, you're going to see a painting of this that her mother kept hung up. Yeah, here we go with these assholes. Let's jump into this. Because I have to introduce you to these assholes. Not that I'm biased. Okay, but I am. So let's talk about the Skakels. The Skakels, very affluent family. We have Rushton Skakel, who is the father of 7 children, 6 boys, 1 girl. His sister married Robert Kennedy. And we know now, Robert Kennedy, who was JFK's brother. His sister married Robert Kennedy. Actually, Rushton, their family was in coal, right? And he inherited more money than God. And I know a lot of people think that the Kennedys were rich. They were, but the Skakels made the Kennedys look like, dirt. That's how much money they had. They had, it's 7 children, 6 boys, 1 girl. Their mother, Anne, died about 2 years before, so 1973, she died of brain cancer. And so we have Rushton Skakel left with 7 children. He's an alcoholic. He hired nannies, cooks, and tutors. I found a woman who was the nanny to Michael and Tommy, who at the time were the youngest children, all right, at the time. And she talked about these 2 kids. In this photograph, and I know it's hard, but Tommy Skakel is, if you look at the guy there's Rushton at the top, then we have Rushton Jr., then we have the daughter, I can't remember her name, and then Tommy is right here on the left with no shirt. That's Tommy. And then right in front of Tommy is Michael. So the nanny was responsible for those 2. Now, she said that the Skakels would not let her discipline the children. There were no consequences to them at all. And that these little assholes, I think they were 5 and 3, something like that, because they're only Michael and Tommy are only 2 years apart. That they would kick her till her legs were black and blue and she could do nothing. And she finally went to Ann Skakel and said, listen, your kids are kicking the shit out of me. You won't let me discipline. You won't do it. And Ann was like, yes, you're so right. This woman ended up leaving, So then I guess another 15 kids came rolling out of her. But anyway. So let's, I'm going to show you their homes in a minute. Now, I'll tell you this. In the Belhaven part of Greenwich, Connecticut, the Skakel kids were almost outcast. And I say that because they were effed up. All right. Rushton, the dad, was an alcoholic, as I mentioned. He would just go. He would just go away. He would go on trips, on hunting trips, whatever. And he'd hired these people to take care of children that had no boundaries and endless cash. So let's see. What did we got? 6 boys, 1 girl, with unlimited resources, no rules, and no consequences. So a lot of the parents in Belhaven did not want their children anywhere near the Skakel children because they were just idiots. Sorry. And here is Michael and here is Tommy. Tommy is on the left. Michael is on the right. Yeah. So Tommy and Michael were rivals in everything. Not so much grades, because I have to tell you, these 2 right here, actually, well, I'm sure I won't get sued. Most of the Skakel kids were dumb as dirt. Sorry, I said it. Dumb as dirt. These 2, dumb as dirt. All right. So, but they were bitter rivals for attention, anything. But they were really, 1 girl with all those boys. This rivalry hit, I think, a plateau. No, not a plateau, a peak, when Martha moved in down the street. She was beautiful. She was Michael's age, so that would be on the one on the right, the younger one. He's 15. She was 15. Tommy was 17 when this murder happened. And they both liked Martha a lot. So, and I could give you, I'm trying to look. I make all these notes. I can tell you this. So Tommy Skakel and Michael were both known to have some explosive tempers. really effed up. And this is, I have to report that, what I find. So Tommy was actually dropped on his head at 4. Sorry. He was dropped on his head at 4. And they said ever since then, he was a little, terror. Something tells me he was a little terror before he got dropped on his head, but whatever. They were both weird kids. And I will get into some of the stories, but nobody wanted to be anywhere near Tommy Skakel, the oldest one, 17. And Michael, he's just a doofus. Just a doofus. We're going to hear a lot about Michael. There's another photograph of Martha, no braces on the teeth. Look at her little buka beads, and just a beautiful girl. Absolutely beautiful girl. And here are the two morons again. Now we have Michael on the left, and we have Tommy on the right. Tommy's a little bit older. I'm going to try to really I know I miss a lot in chat, but I'm trying to be better at that. When I get into my internal script, I forget to look. I don't know why. All right. So we're getting ready to get down to this. This was Martha's home. Very nice. In fact, her mother, Dorothy, described it as lucky Leo. It's Michael. Michael. Her mother described this as a fixer-upper in Bellhaven, Connecticut. No, it was not. But if you want to, call it that, that's fine. Oh, dumb as dirt, no boundaries, and endless money. And I mean, again, I wanted to kick shit when I've known about this story for a long time, and I've always been very interested in it. And hey, Ted, we're just starting out. We're just getting to know some of the characters. We're getting to know Martha, who was 15. We're getting ready. We've met the Skakel boys, Tommy and Michael, and this is the home that Hey Will Friday. I know I've moved this to 8:30 because it's a lot of information, and then I forgot I did that. So, this is the fixer-upper, and this is the Skakel home. And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how close these homes were. All right, let's look here. So you see this, it's really, they're not next door neighbors, but they're on the same street. And that's a pretty good, yeah. I mean, I think if you were like me, when I was a kid, our neighborhood stretched streets and streets and streets over. We would all just kind of meet. And, okay, so let's talk about, you're going to say, Shannon, why are you showing us this? Which is an impressive, I have to say, whoever toilet papered this tree, you are professional and you need to be acknowledged because that is a beautiful thing right there. So apparently in the Upper East states, there is a thing called, and it is a very nice job. It's beautiful. I'd have left that. They have a night called Mischief Night, and it's the night before Halloween. So October 30th, you get Mischief Night, and kids would toilet paper. They would do ding dong ditch. They would throw eggs. Nothing huge, nothing horrible, just Mischief Night. Now, Martha was grounded because she had come in late from her curfew, I think that during this week. And she was grounded. But it was Mischief Night, and so Martha and her two friends said, please, 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 Miss Moxley, please, can she please come out? And Dorothy Moxley said, sure, she can come out. Yeah, not a problem. And she did. So Martha goes straight over to the Skakel home. Now, the two people that are with her, her friends, it was a guy and a girl. And if you watch 48 Hours, there's on YouTube, you can find it, and it's Martha Moxley. And they interview these two that had never spoken before publicly about that night. So they went over to the Skakel home, which I told y'all before, the local parents did not want their kids over there at all. The Moxleys probably didn't know that, but anyway, so they go over, and Michael is there, and they go and they sit in a Cadillac out in front of the house, and they're listening to music. Their father, the Skakel dad, was gone on a hunting trip. So we have Michael and Martha in the front seat, the other two in the back seat, and they're just listening to music. Well, out comes Tommy. And Tommy slides right up into and basically puts Martha in the middle of Michael and himself. And they're listening to music and whatnot. So then, around 9:30-ish, his older brothers and the cousins, so that's the two Skakel boys, older brothers and their cousin, came out and said, we need the car. We're going over to our cousin's house to watch the American premiere of Monty Python's Flying Circus. So the kids get out. The brother and the cousins take off to go watch this 11 miles away from the house. Here we go with this, okay? So Tommy, around 9:30, he claims that he left Martha, right? They'd been playing around, and he would they were playing around, and the two friends were still with her, and he would push her down, and then he fell on top of her and all of that, and there might have been a little bit of kissing, and so the two friends said, gross, we're leaving. And so around 9:30, Tommy claims that he leaves Martha, goes into his home, and starts writing a paper on Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Well, Martha doesn't come back home. She never makes it back home. Dorothy, her mother, is painting some panes of windows, in one of the rooms. Martha's curfew was at 10, and so she's looking outside, waiting for Martha. Where are you, Martha? And it gets pretty late, so Dorothy starts calling around to friends. Is Martha there? No, she's not here. And then Dorothy goes to sleep, waiting. She jumps up the next morning and runs, and Martha's bed has not been slept in. So she knew they had a problem. Something was really wrong. So she called the police, and her and her son, because I believe Martha's father too was on a business trip, they go around, and Dorothy goes right to the Skakel home, right? Knocks, rings the doorbell. Michael answers the door. Michael's got no shirt on, no shoes, and in her words, looks hungover. And she asks Michael, is Martha here? Michael says, no, she is not here. And Miss Moxley leaves it at that. So a lot of the kids in the neighborhood were on their way to come and help look for Martha. And one girl whose backyard butted up against Martha's home was coming to help them look, as she looks over and she sees Martha. And Martha is under a pine tree. Martha's blonde hair is red with blood, and her pants had been pulled down to her ankles. And that is how Martha Moxley is found, in her own yard. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so the police come, they look at her, the guy, the detective, basically, when he talked about this in 2000 with 48 hours, he had never gotten over this site. We're in Greenwich, Connecticut. And in the Greenwich, Connecticut, we're in the most affluent part, and it's called Bellhaven. They don't have murders. Hey, have pint. There are no murders. These people don't murder each other. A petty crime, but in Bellhaven, you have detectives who literally don't have a lot to do because. So we have a police force that has no real experience in investigating a murder. Upon closer review, when they looked at Martha's body, it was all headshots, right? Nothing below. And there was a piece of a golf club that impaled her neck. And I can't imagine. So they look, and there's actually many pieces of a golf club. All right. So we have, and you can see the blood here. They go around to the front of Martha's house and they see a pool of blood there in the front of her house. So basically what happened was, and let's see if I'm pretty sure I queued this up, and it is not big enough. I don't think it's big enough. This is just a rough drawing, but okay, this is better. So we're in front of Martha's house, all right? And you see where the head of the golf club is found, all right? So she was struck in her own driveway. And then they think that there's two different theories here. And this is the problem that we get into because we have a lot of conflicting information. One report says that she was hit from behind. Another report says that she was hit square on looking at whoever did it. But she was hit in the jaw. And they were pretty sure that first hit. There's my Jenny Mulvaney. She's recovering. The first hit, they say, probably knocked her out. God, please let that be true. But what happened is she was drugged all the way around her property, all the way to the back, because there's a trail of blood. She was hit more times. The club broke more, and I told her she was impaled in the neck with the rest of it. So we have 4 pieces of a golf club, a 6-iron, by the way. That's weird. So again, I'm just going to go through. This is their house again. And if you see this little arrow, that's basically where she was hit. That's not where she was found. She was hit in her own driveway. This is the tree. And if we go one more, here is her body. And you see this grass is kind of high. It's October, but there was a definite, somebody drug her, over there. So, and again, her pants were down, pulled down around her ankles. But she was not sexually assaulted. So there's some kind of pathology there that I don't understand. It seems like to me, and I don't think you have to be, somebody was pretty upset with her. This was not a crime of, opportunity. It wasn't, anything but a very personal murder. Here's another little illustration on the different angle of it and the shaft of this thing. And it was bad. It was bad. I gotta turn my, I always have to make sure I got everything. So we're going to go through the timeline. A timeline of exactly what they said happened. Now let's talk. So, so Tommy says he went into his own home at 9:30 to do a paper on Abraham Lincoln. So they had a tutor there. And they Rushton Skakel had hired a tutor for these idiot kids of his. Sorry. And his name was John Littleton. The conflicting reports on John Littleton is that some say this was this happened on his very first night of work. When they hired him, he moved in that night, and this happened that night. Other reports say that he'd been there about a month. So we'll go with that. We'll just put it in the middle. So earlier that night, Rushton Skakel was out, and John Littleton and the group of idiot Skakel children went to the Belhaven Country Club, and they had dinner, a very nice dinner. And unbelievably, 15-year-old Michael and 17-year-old Tommy were they were just they were ordering mixed drinks, and they got them. They were drinking all night. 15 and 17, and and they all came home, and that's when I think Martha had actually rung the doorbell at 8:30, and they weren't home yet. So at 9:30 they had got down. I mean, between 9 and 9:30, there was a lot of activity there, Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Ghostface. Thank you. Can you get some of the leaves off there? That'd be great. Yeah. So Tommy says he goes in to write the paper. Michael has said that he is at the cousin's house watching. Hey, Silly Rabbit. Watching Monty Python's Flying Circus. I'm embarrassed to say this. I really am. The problem with Tommy's story is Tommy was never assigned a paper on Abraham Lincoln. And this was a Friday. October 30th was a Friday. They had a 3-day weekend coming up. And so to think that Tommy the moron, right? I'm sorry, we're going to go back. To think Tommy the idiot was going to go in early on Mischief night and start a paper is kind of stupid. But Tommy's alibi was with John Littleton, the tutor, and they were watching The French Connection on television. And it was that epic chase scene. If you've never watched The French Connection and seen that chase scene, it's quite amazing. The tutor said that Tommy was not upset, not covered in blood, not in any way, shape, or form, out of it, angry, whatever. It was just normal Tommy. And that alibi stuck for a really long time. Yeah, no, there was no paper. None of Tommy's teacher said, we did not do that. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. The tutor hadn't done it. This just came out of Tommy's head. How did Tommy know how to lie, though? Why would Tommy lie? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. So this is our only suspect at this point is Tommy Skakel. And he had an ironclad alibi, as did Michael. Michael was 11 miles away with his brother and his cousins. So the police look around, and they notice that this is a very specific golf club. Very, very, very specific. And they go to the Skakel house, oddly enough, and this 6-iron is from a set of golf clubs in their home that belonged to their dead mother. And the only club that was missing out of that set was a 6-iron. So now we know that the murder weapon came out of the Skakel home. It belonged to the dead mother. Tommy was the last person to see Martha alive. And wow, the police asked Tommy some questions, and and that worked for a couple of weeks. I think he took a lie detector, failed one, passed another one. And then all of a sudden, Rushton Skakel stopped all of it. Their lawyer said, you don't have to talk to the police. And they didn't. Like literally not even a month after this, they stopped talking to the police. And believe it or not, that is where it stayed until the 1990s. So from 75 to the 1990s, nothing happened. Now you have a father and a brother and a mother in that neighborhood who knew damn well somebody in that Skakel house had done this. The police knew somebody in that Skakel house did it. All right, it couldn't have been anybody else. The weapon came out of that house. She was last seen at that house. She was last seen with Tommy Skakel at that house. And from 1976, this was October, until the 1990s, nothing happened. Nothing happened. I have to make sure, hold on, because I make my notes and then I never refer to them. But I'm pretty sure I got it all. I mean, the police were trying. It's just, when money talks, doesn't it? Money always talks, and it talks. It speaks loudly. So we're gonna go. We're gonna take a trip to the 1990s, and oh yeah, I forgot about this. Okay, so we have Martha's diary. Again, this is quite exciting as well. So we have Martha's diary. The police look at Martha's diary. All right, here it is, exhibit, and you can see the down here. It was taken in 5302. 2002 is when that was again taken into. All right. We have several entries in this diary, and I have linked a lot of this in the comment section. I'm gonna do the diary as well, but she talks about this hanging out with the Skakels. She talks about Michael being a complete jerk and a drunk. So, and basically, Michael was an alcoholic from age 13. 1-3 until I don't even know when, honest to God. There were several entries in it about they fought over. Tommy would make moves on Martha. Martha was not interested in the least. Michael would get mad, get drunk, and this is like a month before the actual murder. I really need to stop going over there. She's referring to the Skakel house. You see all these entries, right? So she talks about they go out for ice cream, and Tommy keeps putting his hands on her, and she doesn't want, she tells him to stop. They practice driving, and she's driving, and Tommy keeps touching her leg. She doesn't like. They went to a dance, and Michael gets mad at Martha because he says Martha is leading Tommy on, which is not. Michael is actually the one that really loved her so much. She talks about dances here. She continues to talk about Michael being a jerk and drunk, and I mean, this is a basic 15-year-old's diary. And again, I try to get it bigger. I'll put the link in there, the whole thing. So up until about a month before her murder, she's actively speaking about these boys. And again, I will link this because it's really interesting. And this was evidence. This is this when they found this diary, it was like, oh great. Didn't matter. It didn't matter because Skakels had stopped talking. But this is Martha's account, basically, of what happened. We have more. So this is September 21st, and I've got notes here about what they said. Let me see if I find them. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. I got it here somewhere. But it's like I said, it's a basic 15-year-old's diary, a popular 16-year-old's diary, but a diary nonetheless. All right, so we'll move this over here. We'll look through here because I do have, but it was a single piece of paper, so I understand why. All right, hold on. Oh, it's Kenneth Littleton, not John. What the fuck am I thinking? What the hell? All right, well, anyway. So I'll find it, 10 minutes after this is over. Let's talk about the Elon school. Now, Michael was involved in a pretty serious wreck at age 17. He was drunk. What do you know? And it was a bad wreck. He hurt people. So his father decided that he was going to go to the Elon school in Maine. The Elon school, and this is very interesting to me. If y'all were around when we talked about Nancy Spungen and Sid Vicious, this is gonna be a lot of Nancy Spungen's youth that is gonna come back to you. Basically, Elon was a reformatory drug rehab. Basically, and I wrote this down in the 70s, 80s, we had the troubled teen industry. And that's if your kid was acting a fool, you could send them, to the wilderness training or places like Elon, hospitals where you didn't have to deal with them. They would be with doctors. They would go to school. You didn't have to deal with them. Let these people deal with them. It's still $1 billion industry. Wasn't it good? State of Disorder. I know, it was so good. So if you remember Nancy Spungen went to a lot of these schools. So did Michael. But Elon is where he made his biggest mistake. Michael wasn't bright. I don't think Michael Skakel, if he's watching, and he probably is, I don't think he'll argue with me. He's an idiot. But at 17 and drunk, he was a real big idiot. So he was sent there. They did behavior modification, again, therapeutic, So this particular school was a member of the National Association of Therapeutic Schools and Programs. And there's a, whatever. And it was actually the state of New York would grant kids in their state trips to Elon. So you have a kid that wasn't learning, send them to Elon. Here, the state of New York will pay for it. Not a problem. Your kid got a DUI? Not a problem. Send them to, Elon. And so why do you even know? This gets sicker and sicker. So now Elon, and let me show you a picture of it. There we go. All right, that is part of it. That is a stark difference between their lovely home in Belhaven. So this is where up in Maine, where it is cold and it is boring, and this is where Michael was sent. And let me show you this too. this is like a group, like a yearbook photo. I don't know what year this was, but look at all of the beautiful children that are so happy in the snow. Yeah, so we did have a problem at Elon because there were reports that the children were being abused, neglected, beaten. They would let other children beat up a kid that wasn't, acting right. I mean, there was a lot of problems here. And Michael, the minute he hit Elon, he told a boy, I murdered somebody, but I'm a Kennedy, and I'll get away with it. And I got to find the paper that I put here that's got that sound bite on it because I have it. I certainly do have it. So this is what I'm going to use 48 hours just so we can hear all right. So this is Greg Coleman. That's who I'm going to show you. Let me screen share. Because I mean, you have to hear this. I can't, Let's screen share and let's go to 48 hours. And we'll do that. And then I'm going to find, okay, this is Greg Coleman. So we're going to go all the way up to 21, about 21 minutes in. All right. Let's go back. All right, we'll get it. Here we go. Make sure we can hear this.
To a local news reporter, what he says.
This
Michael
is Mr.
told
Coleman.
him back then.
The first words he ever said to me was, I'm going to get away with murder. I'm a Kennedy.
Coleman says Michael detailed what he did to Martha that night.
He had made advances towards her, and she rejected his advances, and quote unquote, that he drove her skull in with a golf club.
Okay, did y'all hear that? Please tell me you heard that. Please tell me you heard that. So that is Mr. Greg Coleman. And so we have Michael admitting that he killed Martha. He didn't say Martha, but he killed a girl who rejected him and used, thank you, I love you. I love you, mama, thank you. And said that he hit and stabbed her with a golf club. Believe it or not, as I told you, we don't have any movement until the 1990s. So nothing is done. Nothing was done. And we're going to, let me go back over here. Let me stop. Well, I'm not going to stop sharing that. I'm not going to stop there. We'll just put, nope, put it back in. Thank you very much. Okay. So, and let me bring this back up. The photograph. Okay. So this is the photograph of this is Kenneth Littleton. And this is another character in this. This was the tutor. This was the tutor that either lived with him for a month or was hired that day. It all depends on who you saw. Hey, Carrie, love you. Carrie got her cochlear implants. So that's pretty exciting. So we have Mr. Kenneth Littleton. Now, again, we have conflicting stories here. So I'm just going to kind of go with going down the middle. Some reports say that he was fired a year after this murder because all of the Skakel kids failed. So he wasn't tutoring them enough. They're idiots. Some reports say he was released, that he was fired the next day after the murder. Whatever. It's, But Mr. Littleton had some problems after he was fired from the Skakel home. And he turned to drugs, he turned to alcohol, he turned to petty theft. He had a real problem with Rushton Skakel. So all of a sudden the Skakel people were pushing Kenneth Littleton as the suspect. It's got to be him. He was in the house. It was obviously him. Problem was, he didn't know Martha Moxley. He never met Martha Moxley ever. So and plus he was Tommy Skakel's alibi. In turn, Tommy Skakel was his alibi, because the murders, the detectives said the murder of Martha Moxley took place between 9:30 and 10. And the reason they got that number is because the dogs in the neighborhood started barking between 9:30 and 10. So the police just assumed that is when the murder took place. And that's what we went with for a very long time. Again, the Skakels tried to push Kenneth Littleton in there as the and even the police said, you know what, I think he did it. I think he might have done it. However, you'd have to discount Tommy's story to add in Littleton. So that didn't go very well. His life didn't go very well. He never really, I mean, I got, he stopped doing drugs and whatnot, but his life was ruined. And that's a fatality of this. So let's jump to this. If you don't know who this is William Kennedy Smith. William Kennedy Smith is a cousin of the Kennedys. And you're saying, what? Yes, that's true. Now, some of you are probably too young to know this. William Kennedy Smith was with his uncle Ted Kennedy down in Florida. Another lowlife. And they had been drinking and partying down in Florida at a compound that they had. And William Kennedy Smith, Ted Kennedy, and whatnot went out to a bar, and he met a woman at the bar. This was in 1991, okay, in March 29th, 1991. He met the woman, 30-year-old, or he was 30. And there was actually 3 women at the bar, but he left with one of the girls, one of the women. They walked along the beach, okay? Then the victim told police that Smith violently essayed her at 4 a.m. She called friends to come pick her up from the Kennedy compound, okay? A few hours later, she reported the rape. Now, I'm sorry. Let me back up. They picked her up. She called a rape crisis center, okay, that night. Logged. It's there. She did it. And then she goes to the hospital a few hours later to report the incident and was taken. They did a rape kit, semen, and she did have bruising inside and out. So Smith claimed that it was consensual sex. Oddly enough, 3 other women came forward after this hit the news, saying that he did the exact same thing to them. And these weren't chicks at a bar. This was law students. These weren't, but anyway, so their testimony was actually excluded. Now, this trial was actually was televised. And if you weren't around then, when the victim took the stand, there was a huge blue ball, all right, around her face. You couldn't see her face. You could hear and what she said. And obviously, Dominic Dunn. Do y'all know who Dominic Dunn is? Dominic Dunn is a writer, and he worked for Vanity Fair. And Dominic Dunn, his daughter was murdered, actually. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the same day of the year has Martha, October 30th. Not the same year, but the same day. And so Dominic Dunn started to cover trials for Vanity Fair. And he was at this trial. And Dominic Dunn wasn't a fan. His daughter was strangled by an ex-boyfriend. His daughter was the oldest child in the Poltergeist movie. That was his daughter. His daughter was an actress. If you watch Poltergeist, that's his daughter. She the oldest girl. And basically, her ex-boyfriend, they'd broken up. He came in. She was going over lines. There's an actor, and I can't picture his face right now, but he was at the house, her house. This guy came in, and drug her, like I want to say, to the next yard and strangled her to death. The man got less than a year in prison, maybe 2 years. And he got out. He was let out after he choked her to death and stabbed her, I believe. And he was able to change his name and move away. So this put a fire under Dominic Dunn. So Dominic Dunn was handling this case. He was found, this little asshole was found not guilty. But the rumor going around that courtroom in Florida was that Michael Kennedy Smith was actually in Belhaven on the night of November 30th in 1975. That rumor went around. This fucker was not there, but the rumor went around, and this case started to get a little momentum going, all right? People started remembering, well, wait a minute, wasn't there another Kennedy cousin that was accused of a crime? Huh, let's look that up. We got a problem. So, in the 90s, and it was around 91 or 92, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Let's go through this. Hold on. There he goes. Isn't he lovely? What a handsome guy. He's actually a doctor now. So, way to go there. There's Dominic Dunn. I love Dominic Dunn. I love him. If you've never read his books are based on true stories. He has to shuffle some things around not to get it, but all of his books are based on true stories. There's the Two Mrs. Glenvilles, which is based on Anne and anyway, they're all so Dominic Dunn wrote a book about this actual murder, and it was called A Season in Purgatory. There's that fat fuck. Why is this book down here? Anyway, Dominic Dunn wrote a book, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Let me move all my notes. I got notes. I want to say it was in 1993. He wrote the book A Season in Purgatory, and it was about the Martha Moxley case. A lot of things had to be changed around, but everybody knew exactly who Dominic Dunn was writing this book about. Around this same time in the early 90s, Rushton Skakel decided, you know what? This book's coming out. We're getting all this attention because of that asshole, cousin down in Florida. And I'm going to make sure my family is cleared of all of this. And I'm going to spend almost $1 million in a few years, and I'm going to prove it. And that's what he did. Rushton went to New York, and he hired a detective agency to clear his son, Tommy. Told you these kids were dumb as rocks. We're going to get into that right now. So, the Sutton report was made. This was years, about 2 or 3 years of work, multiple interviews with Tommy and Michael. Somebody from the Elon school popped up, which would be Mr. Greg Coleman, whom we heard earlier. Now, oddly enough, Michael, for whatever reason, was also shopping around a book that he. Let's just get to that. Let me share our screen again, and we're going to go back to this. Around this time, Michael was trying to get anybody at all to publish a book about his life called Coming Clean, Kennedy, and whatever. It's well, let's listen to Michael. Let me get my timestamp. So he made a audio audio recording of I'm sorry, I can't with this motherfucker. I just can't. Let me find the time. Let me see. It is around what? Fuck me running. It's here. Okay, here is here's it to 2008. Let's go back a little bit. Is that the right one? Sure, I'm sure it is. Okay. So let's go 2008. This is part of the audio that Michael again used to try to get a book published. Oh shit, let me share the screen again. Sorry. Let's share that screen again. Let's go right here. We're gonna add that back. Are we not? Okay, we'll just do it this other way. We're gonna share it again. We're gonna stop screen, then we're gonna start again. We're gonna pick it back up. And let's go. Let's see what this little fuck had to say about this. Because it's pretty effing crazy. Let me make sure this is right. No, we got to go to 18. I am so sorry. We got to go to 18. 18 minutes. This is when this dumb ass made this. Okay. There's that little asshole. All right. This is close enough. Let's listen. Let's listen. Let me turn it up a little bit. And then we're going to listen to what Mikey has to say.
Oh my God. If I tell anybody that I was out that night, they're going to say I did it.
All right, let me stop that. And let me go back over here. So basically, Michael admits to being in the neighborhood that night. His story was at 9:30, he went with the brother and the cousins, and he didn't get back till 11:30. And when he got back at 11:30, he went straight into the house. Well, with the sudden report and this book, he screwed himself basically by running his mouth. Okay, he's too stupid to shut up, for real. But during this sudden report, Tommy also changes his story completely. He said, and he didn't record it, but Tommy changed his story. And he said, you know what? I lied. I did not leave Martha at 9:30 and come into the house. I actually stayed with her another 20 minutes. And we did a little bit of kissing. We did a little bit of this. We both had an orgasm. They didn't have sex, though. And then she went home. So Tommy has now placed himself between 9:30 and 10 where the police believe that she was murdered. And he has placed himself straight in the middle of that time. He also has admitted that they got into some heavy petting, okay? And Martha was found, with her pants down around her ankles. This is in the Sutton report, okay? And then Michael comes in, and they talk to that doofus. And he admits that he was there. And that when he got home, that he used to like to just walk around the neighborhood because there was a woman in the neighborhood that always walked around her house naked. So he was drunk and a little horny when he got home on October 30th, 1975. And so that little jerk starts walking around the neighborhood, peeking in windows, a practice that he did often, and he would pleasure himself and whatnot. Well, he went around, and the naked lady had on her nightgown, and he peeked in some more places, and then he decided to climb a tree in front of Martha's house and throw pebbles. But let's listen to that, because this is what this little fucking idiot, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but this is his own word. So let's use his own words against him. All right, we got it. So nope, we don't have it. This is it. My stomach is growling. I am so sorry if y'all hear that. I really am. I think we go back to 2008. All right, we're getting close. So we're gonna hold on. This was the name of the book. Dead Man Walking, A Kennedy Cousin Comes Clean by Michael Skakel. Fuck off, you little shit ass. Yeah, it's 18. I'm sorry. Let's go back. I am so sorry. Okay. Dude, I don't know if we already played this. I don't know. This one is, oh my God.
His dad's investigators, another story.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God. If I tell anybody that I was out that night, they're going to say I did it.
All right, let me bring you back. So basically, during this report, let me come back. Let me bring you back here. During this report, Michael admits that he was there. Michael says that he had wandered around the neighborhood. He climbed up a tree and tried to get Martha's attention because he thought that was her window. He masturbated for about 30 seconds in the tree, and then he left. Now, he claims in this report, and it is quite long, that he heard, when he was in the tree pleasuring himself, he heard voices in the back of her home. All right. And so he's scared that somebody has seen him, and he runs home. This is the story. This is the story. So what Rushton Skakel basically did was, when trying to exonerate one son, he actually, the report implicated the 15-year-old son. And this all got turned around because the new theory was that Michael was there when Tommy and Martha were fooling around, saw them, and got angry. And when Tommy came in, he went to confront Martha, and for whatever reason was carrying a 6-iron from his dead mother's golf set, okay? And that he then killed her, dragged her. He was a little kid. He was not a big kid. And so he would have had to have dragged her after he hit her, okay, and dragged her 200, 100 yards at least, I think, is what they said. I'm sorry if I don't remember. All the way around to the back of her house while holding the golf club that by this time, after this is done, has gone into 4 different pieces. You got the iron part, you got shaft parts. The one part of that golf club that was never found was the grip. The grip was never found, ever. So when all this comes out, and now that we have now moving away from Tommy, and now Michael probably is the one they say that did it. I don't understand why they think this. I don't know why they think this. I don't know. I know that Michael, made this confession. They've talked to people from Elon. They know that he confessed it down there when he was 17. But there was not a lot of evidence except for the damn golf club. Okay. I'm getting excited now. So after about 2 years and $1 million, Rustin Skakel says, you know what, Sutton people, thank you. We won't be needing this anymore. Let's just cut this. We're going to cut this information. Done. We're done. And oddly enough, everybody in that, every investigator signed a NDR. They could not talk about anything that was in the report. They signed them. They could not speak of them. Everybody signed them, except one person. One person didn't sign them. A non-disclosure agreement. That guy was the guy who typed up the 3-year report. He typed it up. He was an author, and he typed it up. He did not sign a non-disclosure. That man was friends with Dominic Dunn. What he did was he took that typed up report and he sent a copy to Dominic Dunn, who by now was friends with Dorothy Moxley, Martha's mother. And he tells her, listen, you're going to have to trust me. I have something. And you're just going to have to be very patient, but it's going to come out. Now, if you remember in the 1990s, there was also another pretty famous trial, and the guy's name was O.J. Simpson. And there was a detective named Mark Furman. Why the fuck is my... Okay, we saved it, and we did not save it. I am so sorry. Anyway, so Mark Furman, Dominic Dunn says, Mark, because Mark Furman had written a story, A Death in Brentwood, which is the O.J. Simpson story. He is friends with Dominic Dunn. Dominic Dunn takes the manuscript, takes the book, basically, with all this information from the Sutton report, and he hands it over to Mark Furman, and he says, you got to write a book about this. I can't do it. You do it. And so Mark Furman takes his information, and Mark Furman heads to Bell Harbor. Hey, everybody. Nobody wanted him around. The cops didn't want him around because they had flubbed this thing so badly that when Mark Furman showed up, who was an investigator who had investigated murders, and a lot of them, showed up and made them look like Barney Fife, okay? So Mark Furman starts to talk to like the coroner. And this 9:30 to 10 o'clock window that they say Martha was murdered in, the only reason they came up with that is because of the dogs. No, they weren't dirty. They were just stupid. They weren't dirty. They were just dumb. And Mark talks to the coroner, and says like, what is this 9:30 to 10? And the coroner's like, yeah, well, it really could have happened anywhere from 9:30 to 5 a.m. in the morning. What? Wait a minute. That opens that window. Wait a minute. No. You have to be wrong. They said it was between 9:30 and 10. And the coroner said, no, it could have been anywhere from 9:30 to 5 a.m. Well, we got us a big window opening now. Michael Skakel is now in play, all right? Because for whatever reason, the police in 1975, who had none of them had ever investigated a murder, has said, oh, yeah, no, the dogs are barking. That's obviously when she was killed. No, it wasn't. Now, in 1983, okay. Well, let's not go back that far. Let's not go back that far. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now Tommy Skakel, the suspect for 30 years, okay, was now not the one. Now it seems like Michael was the one. And in end of 1999, around there, in the beginning of 2000, Michael Skakel is investigated. Michael Skakel is arrested for the murder of was arrested for the murder of Martha Moxley. Michael Skakel. Okay, so we're going to move forward. There he is. That's Michael back then at 40 some years old. Fat little fuck. He's still short. Here we have Robert Kennedy Jr. If you don't live under a rock, you know that Robert Kennedy Jr. right now is the head of Trump hired this idiot to head up Health and Human Services. Robert Jr. doesn't believe in vaccines. He has cut thousands of people from the Centers for Disease Control, which he's now over. He has fired doctors and scientists because he doesn't believe in a lot of this. He was literally in front of Congress this week talking about, thank you, honey, talking about his belief and being grilled by congressmen on where he got this fucking information from, because he won't share where this vaccines are stupid and blah blah. So this idiot inserts himself into this trial. All right, we can't have a Skakel, we can't have a cousin. The truth is that Michael and his brothers and sisters were cousins with the Robert Kennedy's whole gaggle of kids. But Robert Kennedy Jr. didn't meet any of the Skakel kids until 1983. So Michael running around bragging that he was a Kennedy. No, you weren't. You didn't even fucking know your cousins. You damn sure didn't know your dead-ass uncle. But you really didn't know your cousins because they didn't meet until 1983. That came out of Robert Jr.'s mouth, okay? So, are we excited? We're getting to it. I know. Come on. I knew I should have started this earlier. A really interesting thing happened is a judge agreed that they got, okay, so the prosecution, grand juries, right? They go to a grand jury. In Massachusetts, you can do a one-person grand jury. It is not often that it's done, but it is done. And in this case, the prosecutor got a one-person grand jury, went to them with the evidence. That grand jury, one person, found and told the judge basically, yes, we do believe that there is enough evidence to take this to trial. So Michael Skakel was now getting ready to go on trial for the murder of Martha Moxley. But where's Tommy? Where's Tommy been? Tommy, where are you? Well, Tommy's got a very big, weird ass. Yeah, Tommy's only interview actually was with this paper, and let me screen share that. I'm going to show you the actual. Did his mom actually know who the dad was, or did the mom? Well, who's Tommy and Michael's mother died 2 or 3 years before the murder. So she was, the dad did not flip. What the dad did was, when the Sutton report came out and they said, oh yeah, this is Michael. This is 100%. Michael is now in play. Rushton Skakel said, okay, we're going to end this investigation. Thank you. Here's $1 million. Nobody talk about this. And the only person that didn't have that non-disclosure agreement was the guy who typed it up. I mean, come on. And he says it to Dominic Dunn, who is now wonderful friends with Dorothy. He said, Dorothy, you got to trust me. You got to trust me. We're going to get this out, okay? This is going to come out. And so that's where we are. Now, Tommy Skakel has been real scarce up to this point, okay? But he gives one interview to one little paper, and I fucking found it. I found it, and it took me forever to find it. And again, in this report, in this Sutton report, it talks about how Michael and Tommy both were fucking nuts, and that Ken Littleton, the tutor, tells a story about he's walking through a path in their yard, and there's a chipmunk who had been beaten to death with a golf club and then was spread eagle out with golf tees in the yard. And when Kenneth Littleton said, Michael, did you do that? Michael said, who else would have done it? But, yep, that came out. And we got to see what a little asshole Michael really was. So, let me show you this. Let me show you. Let's share this with you. Stop streaming that. And we're going to show you. I'm going to show you this. Oh, shit. No, not that. I'm going to show you this. And we're going to share the screen. I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to find. Please let me find the first one first. Okay. Now let me go back over here. This is The Advocate. Okay. And I'm just going to pop over here real quick. This, and I know you can't see it, but it is in the description of this video. This is the front page. And if you look under here, over here, you probably can't see it. I can't get it any bigger. If you go all the way over to the right-hand section, and y'all know these papers, this is the front page. And down here, it says, please see Skakel, page A12. Okay. But this is the first page of it. This is April 27, 2001. And I'm going to read you just a part of this, okay? Oh, this fucking idiot. All right. Okay. Hold on. So, in this, Tommy is discussing this. And I'm going to quote it here. And it says, a judge last week ruled there was sufficient evidence for the case against Michael Skakel to proceed to trial in an adult court. Let me clear that up. Because Michael was 15 years old when this happened, technically he could have been tried as a 15-year-old, even though he was 41. Because he was a child when this happened. All right, so technically, and I remember this was a fight. This was a fight from hell by the defense to get this done in juvenile court. But the judge said, nope, we're going to do it in adult court. I'm going to give you the exact quote that Tommy Skakel gave on this day, April 27, 2001, I'm going to read this part again. A judge last week ruled there was sufficient evidence for the case against Michael Skakel to proceed to trial in adult court, obviously for the murder of Martha Moxley. And I'm going to quote Tommy Skakel. Quote, I obviously feel relief. I'm not public enemy number one. I'll read that again. Quote, I obviously feel relief. I'm not public enemy number one. Huh. But your brother is. Your brother's going to court, is going to be tried for the murder that you have been accused of for 27 years. Okay. But he feels relief that he's not public enemy number one. Never mentions his brother's name. But let's hear from this idiot's wife. Do y'all want to hear about this idiot's wife? Let me give you some of her quotes. This bitch. Let me look. Okay. His wife says, quote, "They never apologized," said Thomas Skakel's wife, who would not give her name, but is identified as Anne in a book about the case, and that would be Mark Furman's book. And I'm going to quote her again. "Being wrongly accused, no one ever comes back and says, 'We're sorry.'" And then she goes on. "He went through an awful lot of pain," she said, "standing barefoot in the family's home. It was a slow pain over 25 years. Oh, I'm so sorry." Tommy Skakel's wife, who didn't want her name released, but hers Anne. You fucking idiot. Oh, well, I mean, this is horrible. Tommy has been not even accused. He wasn't accused. This thing had gone dead from 75 to the 90s. Okay? This is 2001 when the judge said there's enough evidence against Michael. Is there a problem? Does anybody else see a problem here? Anybody? Anybody know? This dumb bitch wife thinks that anybody owes Tommy Skakel a goddamn anything. Because his brother is now accused of it. Well, I'm relieved I'm not public enemy number one. It makes me want to punch air. Okay. And there is another, let me go back. Hold on. Can y'all even see me? You can see me. I'm going to go back, and there's another over here, the second link, and I'm hoping y'all are seeing this. I probably should have my effing phone so I can make sure. Hold on, let me pull this up. I am so sorry. I should have probably had this on my phone so I can see if y'all can see it. Hold on, let me get there. Okay, so this is it. Let me come back over here. I'm gonna stop sharing this. The rest of this article is also in the description. And let me share the screen with you. And we're going to go to the second part of it, which is a longer part of it. And I want to say that it's this one. Please let it be this one. Please let it be this one. It is this one. Okay, so this is the second part. You have the front. It's not all of it, but this is the second part of it. And it's there is Tommy. It's a bad picture. I get it. But there's Russian Skakel and there's Tommy. And it's just a wonderful day, isn't it? It's just a wonderful day. And the story goes on, and you're free to read that. It's over there. You can see it. I have it listed. Telling you, people. All right, where the hell did y'all go? Am I even here? I'm still here. Did I kick myself out? Did I fucking kick myself out of my own stream? Did I do that? Hold on. Did I kick myself out? Wait a minute, I didn't. Oh. Let me find myself. Hold on. Let's back this one. Please. All right. Well, see, I got to find y'all again. Hold on. Where the fuck did y'all go? I've gotten so excited. I've knocked myself completely out of the effing whole damn. Where are you? Oh my God. Mm-mm. Oh, no, I'm still there. Shit! Let me find myself. Where am I? Shannon! Where the fuck did you go? Shannon! All right, here we go. Oh! Nope, that ain't it either. That ain't it either. Why have I got Mark up here? Hold on, I'm lost. All right, let me find myself again. All right, let's take that down. And let's take this down. This is going to absolutely, completely help things out a great deal. Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, let's leave that. And then we'll do this. Hold on, I'm completely lost. Where am I? I see myself. Everybody. Am I? Okay, anyway. Let's do this one more time. Let's get this out of the way too. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. And let me try to find myself. I am on my way. Please, everyone, don't panic. I am on my way. Okay, so. I can't believe I've done this. I cannot believe I've done this. I can't believe I've done it. I've knocked myself out. I've knocked myself out. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. There's two of them. All right. What have I done, guys? I didn't figure this out. Okay. What have I done? This is morning. I can't. Okay. I'm back. Wait a minute. I'm back. I hope I'm back. Am I back? Am I fucking back? Please tell me I'm back. I am back. Okay. I can see myself now. I'm sorry. It is Austin Matthews. I know. He's a hottie from 90. Okay. So let's talk about this trial. I know. I can't believe I'm telling you, I need staff. So during this trial, Gary, if y'all remember Greg Coleman, he was the guy that and Elon that Michael confessed to killing. Okay, let me remove this little fucker right here. Let me remove that. I'm going to put myself up here. Now he is the one that claimed that Michael told him this. Now, very near the trial, Mr. Coleman OD'd on heroin, and he died, obviously. But he had testified in another hearing. So in that hearing, he was sworn in, right? And I believe deposed by both sides. Okay. And so they were able to enter his testimony into the trial because it was at a previous trial. Let me go. I hope that, look, if I disappear again, I don't know what to tell y'all. This is like Poltergeist itself. I lost myself in the TV. Okay. If I lose myself in the TV again, and the thing, we're going to somebody come look for me, but I'll probably be okay. So I'm going to screen share one more time, and I'm telling you, if I don't come back, some shit is going on. So call Kat, because I'm forever not going to make here. Okay, so let's pull this back up. I'm going to go to 21 minutes, and we're going to hear from Mr. Coleman, who, by the way, like I said, died. And but it was there. So let me get it. Come on, Shannon, get a fucking grip here. What is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you, Shannon? Okay, we'll just go from here.
Tree outside Martha's window, and he masturbates in the tree.
Oh, you bet.
In fact, in 1997, Michael even made a tape recording of that story.
Shit, don't
while
tell
working on a book proposal for a tell-all
me.
autobiography.
Everybody play that. So
I pulled my pants
you
down.
stop. Shut up.
Masturbated
Shut
for
up.
30 seconds in the tree.
Yeah, well, there we
And I
go.
remember thinking, oh my God, I hope God never saw me. Then I woke up to Mrs. Moxley saying, Michael, have you seen Martha? I was like, oh my God, did they see me last night?
Okay. That's one that I was looking for earlier. Anyway, so let's forget about that. Coleman's testimony was let in. Michael was convicted of murder. Michael was sent to prison and for 25 years to life. For 11 years of that time, his attorneys were constantly filing motions to appeal. We're going to appeal this because, my God, they had all the money in the world, right? And 11 and a half years later, that appeal worked. And Michael Skakel was released from prison. Because there just wasn't enough evidence. Now, I agree that there's not enough evidence. Looking at this, there's not enough evidence. The sad thing is they have physical evidence. They still have parts of that. They still have parts of that golf club. They still have her clothes. They still have hair, blood, all of that good stuff. The only thing that is there no more is the pictures of the autopsy are no longer there, and other things that are gone. But because of Michael was released in 2013. He got out of prison. The state of Massachusetts decided not to retry him. And so technically, her murder has not been solved. It wasn't Michael. If you're looking at it from the Massachusetts part, it's not Michael. Wasn't him. Yeah, well, if there had been any kind of new evidence, they could have done it. But when they tried him in 2002, it didn't pan out well. So he was let loose. He is still let loose. He's in his 60s right now. Martha and him should be 64, something like that. But Martha isn't. Tommy, at this point, lives quietly. So when Michael, this is a good one too. Michael, let me find this because this is good. Michael, when he got out, said that what they needed to do was look at Tommy. Tommy says, I love my brother. I love him. I love him so much. Just love him. We just so much love for my brother. And then when Michael got out, Michael says, y'all need to look for my brother. My brother is a known liar. He has lied to, and then he began to describe everyone that, hey, Kathy, I love you too. Good night, my love. I know, I'm trying to get this thing wrapped up. Basically, Michael Skakel said, you really need to catch that son of a bitch, my brother, because he probably did it. And I'm going to give you the list of names that Michael gave. So this would have been after the conviction. So yeah, after the conviction was overturned and the petition, June 2012, his lawyers claimed that the investigators did not look at Tommy closely enough, adding Tommy, he was known to be a habitual liar, capable of elaborate deception, that he lied to police officers, pathologists, therapists, consultants, family, friends, lawyers, and investigator about his activities with Martha on October 30th, 1975, and his activities that evening. So in early 2018, Tommy's lawyer comes out with, the brothers aren't close, meaning physically they live very far apart, but that they were sure that they no doubt loved each other. These two hated each other their entire lives. They still hate each other. The fact that Tommy was taken out of the thing with the Sutton report and Michael was put in, and the theory that Michael saw Tommy and Martha, whatever, and grabbed the golf club out of the house and went to confront Martha, and then was overcome. That's when we have conflicting reports for that as well. Was she facing him? Was she not facing him? So that is it. The evidence, that the physical evidence that they still have in Bell Harbor is still there. It has not been tested. Because there, I guess, contamination or whatever. Back in 1975, they had no concept of DNA. But I would think if you go to those clothes and you look to where those pants were pulled down, or you get that golf club, and maybe you got some touch DNA, and there's no reason why Michael or Tommy's DNA should be on those clothes. There is no reason. And if they test those clothes and there is a Skakel DNA on that, we got a problem. We got a problem. And they can tell which one, but would it be admissible in court? Because I don't know. It's too late. Nobody's going to fucking do this. They're not going to take anybody to court. This is done. Miss Dorothy Moxley, and I wish I could remember if it was the first trial or the second trial, and I want to think, I think maybe it was the beginning of the first trial. Michael Moxley approached her, I think outside of the courtroom, and he says, Dorothy, I didn't do this. And so many years later, she's giving an interview. And she said, tells this story. And she said the first thing she thought was, how dare you use my first name? You don't know me like that. How dare you feel so entitled that you can call me by my first name? No, we're not going to do that. She kept appearing. When Michael was convicted, there was, and in fact, let me find it. Let me send you there. There's Tommy Skakel now, or, recently, not quite the heartthrob he used to be. Here's this. We've seen that. I showed y'all that. I read that to you. There's Tommy Sherman. That was he's a pretty famous lawyer as well. And there's Tommy coming out of God knows what. I'm assuming one of the trials, one of the things. There's Michael in jail, his little things there. Okay, so I remember this press conference. And she said, this is not about Michael Skakel. This is not about Tommy Skakel. This is about Martha Moxley, my daughter, and justice. This is about her. And she's pointing up there to her daughter. All right. So again, she is showing more dignity in this. She waited 27 years for this. And there's John right there. Their father died in the 80s. I can't remember exactly when. This was the victorious day. And she said, this is not about Michael. Yeah, again, not about them. This is about my daughter. This is about Martha. And this is all that's left of Martha. This is all that's left of Martha. We have some beautiful photographs of Martha at 15. Nothing after that. Martha should have graduated high school. Martha should have gone to college. Martha should have chosen a career. Martha should have gotten married. Martha should have had children. Martha should have grandchildren right now. That's what should have happened. Tommy Skakel's got children. Michael Skakel's got children. I kind of wonder, could they show the grace and dignity that Miss Moxley showed if one of theirs was taken out? Probably not. I'm not thinking that's what's going to happen. And then I'm going to show you the photo. Okay, so this is the portrait of. I showed you in the beginning, if you were here, the photograph that this came from. Her holding her books, no braces on her teeth, get ready to go back to school. It's unfinished. If you notice, it's unfinished. Like Martha's life. It was unfinished. It was a beautiful girl, unfinished. And yes, Ms. Moxley passed away December 24th, 2004 at 94. She lived a very long time. She never lost her dignity. She never lost her grace. I don't think that any one of us on earth could have, I don't even pretend that I could be as amazing as that woman. If you look back through this, and somebody broke karma when I was talking about the guy who compiled all of this for the detective agency and being the only one that didn't sign a notice. Justice will find its way eventually. And it did. That guy that didn't sign it got it to Dominic Dunn. Dominic Dunn got it to Mark Furman. Mark Furman wrote the book. And Mark Furman blew the fucking top off this thing. And he named Michael as the one. And that's when this case started again. Okay. I don't know if Michael did it. I don't know if Michael did it. Tommy is the one that puts himself there. Tommy is actually now showing why his DNA might be on Martha's clothes. He said that they got into some heavy petting and they mutually had orgasms, but they didn't have sex. So now, in 1990, from 1975, now they know about DNA. Michael or Tommy knows that one of them knows that their DNA is on that girl's clothes. And Michael was the only one dumb enough to I can't, no, they were both stupid, because even Tommy and during this said, no, I didn't actually go into the house at 9:30. It was already closer to 10 because me and Martha were fooling around. And so Tommy puts himself there. He puts his DNA on her clothes at least. And for 27 years, that's the way it stayed. Tommy was always the suspect. And then in this Sutton report, he now shows why his DNA might be on Martha's clothes, which, by the way, have never been tested. They're still at the damn Bell Harbor, Greenwich, Connecticut Police Department. They haven't been tested. They're never going to be tested. Might as well burn them. I mean, what are you going to do with them? I don't know. So A. Skakel got out, got away with this. Was it Michael? Here's another thing that I don't get. Michael and Tommy have hated each other since they were fucking babies, okay? Hated each other. Hated. Why wouldn't Michael take the fall for Tommy for 11 and a half years? Why would he have sat in jail to protect Tommy, who he fucking hated? That doesn't make any sense to me. Michael could have at any point said, Tommy's the one. It was Tommy, not me, Tommy. But he didn't. Why didn't he do that? Where were all the other brothers? I think one brother, Stephen, came to the damn trial. Where are the rest of them? There's fucking 7 of them. Well, 6. One brother came to the damn trial. Where are the rest of them? Would Michael have taken the fall for Tommy for 11 years? Not on your fucking life would he have done that. So some believe that both of them killed her. That's the thing. That's a theory. Both of them did it. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. Yeah. That's why this case makes me want to kick people. It makes perfect sense, and then it makes no sense at all. One brother who hates the other one, vice versa, they hate each other. I mean, when Tommy hears that there's enough evidence, Michael says, yeah, it's just, I'm really glad that I'm not public enemy number 1 anymore. Your brother has just been put, And why does Michael sit there and go for 11 years and not say, wait a minute, no, it wasn't me? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Someone in that house killed that girl. That's the only place, that golf club. Nobody, and there's another, okay, let me just do this too. Let me say that. Robert Kennedy Jr. also wrote a book about this. Shock. And Kobe Bryant, we all know him. His cousin lived around this neighborhood, or not lived around the neighborhood. That's a lie. Kobe Bryant's cousin, a black man, and then another friend that was black, and then a friend that was white. They went to a dance that Martha went to. And Kobe Bryant's stupid ass cousin actually, after talking to Mr. Kennedy, said, oh, yeah, we went. We sure did. And then my friend over here, I can't even remember his name, got really jealous because he was like, why are all these boys asking Martha to dance? Why doesn't she want to dance with me? Let's examine that for a second. 1975, in an affluent, pure white neighborhood. Oh, Lord, no, not even the dirt was black, okay? Not even the dirt. And you're going to tell me that 2 black guys and 1 white guy that nobody fucking knew in Belhaven made their way into a dance. Yeah. And nobody went, the hell are they? And that these 2 black guys, 1 white guy, was there on Mischief night, Belhaven. Okay. And Mr. Bryant's story was that the 2 other ones said, we're gonna grab golf clubs and we're just gonna go jerk somebody in the woods and kill it, and beat them. That was the story. Robert Kennedy Jr. grabbed onto that like it was life itself, as proof that his cousin that he didn't meet until 1983 actually didn't do it. But when Mr. Bryant was brought in to give a deposition, and under deposition, you have to be sworn in, he refused to be sworn in to tell this story. He refused. He would not do that. He lied about it, but he refused, at least this, he refused to go under oath and tell this cockamamie, stupid fucking story that he pulled out of his ass many years later. Earlier, I'm sorry. I wasn't even going to get into that, but the Robert Kennedy Jr. shit, that little... So this is the case of Martha Moxley. We went around a lot of turns, and we end up straight back where we started from. Somebody killed Martha Moxley on October 30th, 1975, anywhere from 9:30 to 5 a.m. The weapon came out of the Skakel home. Tommy Skakel puts himself as the last person that sees Martha alive. And then he furthers that out to exactly the time that the police say that she died because the dogs were barking. And Michael Skakel ends up in jail. 10, what are you talking about? 10 out of 10? Thank you, Cat. Thank you, Cat. So this is why I run around, and I mean, look, y'all have seen my notes. Y'all have seen my note taking. You've seen my little paper clips and my little amendments to the notes. I go beyond, above and beyond. Actually, also in the comment section, or in the description section below, there is, after I did all of this research. After I did all this research, I found a site. And that site, God help me, Jesus, I'm going to tell you, it's in the description. And it is basically 13 chapters that go through the beginning. Michael, the Skakels, this whole Skakel story. The falling on the head. The reckless, mad ass, tempers, and the money, and it goes through the Sutton report, and then it goes through, and it is like I have to send it to Janie, I think Wednesday, I send it to Janie Thursday, and I said, I found this damn thing after I've been doing this effing stupid research. I do have to give it an amendment that Michael Skakel is now suing the Greenwich, the town of Greenwich, for his conviction. He is in the middle of that. He could very well win. He didn't win one of them, but he's got a couple more. So he's actually suing Connecticut and Greenwich and the police department, anybody else, that he comes across. He might win it. I don't know. I don't know. He got out of the murder. If he did it, I don't know that he did it. I don't know. Yeah, Cat, my notes are insane. They look like a crazy person in them. And they do. Because I got to go back. I go forward. I go this way. And then I see something over here. Like Kobe Bryant's cousin. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And now I got to go look at Kobe Bryant's cousin. And then we got to go find Greg Coleman. Who? Greg Coleman. What? He's a, I do my best. And I do my best. And so any tip is appreciated. Feel free to send one. I don't mind a bit. Next week, we're going to do, again, more Murray. We're going to revisit that. Go through that again. There have been small little bitty updates. Not really anything. But it's still interesting to go through exactly everything that happened and why she would have done it. And that's why Janie's got to get better because she needs to explain this to us. Because Maura was slipping, so the mask was falling off of this perfect dimpled, smart little girl. And also there's a problem to me. There is a problem with the way the police say they came across the wreck with the 911 calls from the one woman and then the bus driver and then witness A. I'll bring this all together with you, but something isn't right in there. Something's not right. There was a small window where Maura knew she was in trouble. She'd had another wreck. She was drinking. And there was a point where about maybe 16 minutes, if even that long, 13 to 16 minutes, a window where Maura, had to make a decision. Do you run? Do we try to get away from this? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I don't know what to do, And she's in the middle of nowhere. She doesn't know anybody. What would make her grab the things out of her car that she did, specific items, and where the fuck did she go? There weren't many options. They were this way up the road, that way down the road, or through the woods. She's not through those woods, I don't think. If you don't get better, Janie, I'm going to send penicillin and something. I don't know. Because we need you on this one. I need to know what is going on. Why did that mask start to slip? She was perfect. She was perfect until she got into West Point. And then we started having some real issues. And even when she got out of West Point during her sophomore year, it started to just keep going downhill, drinking and whatnot. So we need to figure that out. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do next week. And Janie will be, because we're all going to pray that God either, one, Janie and I are both planning to win the lottery tonight. We might have already won it. I don't even know. But if we do win it, we'll still be here. We'll just be there'll be a lot of nice shit behind us. We're still going to be here. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that I got this across the way I wanted to. I think I did. Actually, I'm pretty proud of this one. I think I hit everything that I needed to hit. And I did need to start a little bit early because, again, it's a lot of information. Even though you have 27 years of nothing, when that thing started popping, it started popping quick. And all I can thank you for coming. And I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, Mom Murray. I've already got a lot of on her. I've got to go put all it's the M&M. It's the M&M. Martha Moxley, Maura Murray. You get 2 M&Ms in a row. So there you are. You've never bought a lottery ticket. Get your ass out there now. Alicia, I do appreciate you coming. I met you today I'm sure I probably already knew you, but saw you in Randy's and you came, and I'm very glad that you did. And Wolf Rider, how are you? If I missed y'all, there's Mom Jeans. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry I didn't see you. I tell you, when I get into in my head, it's got to come out. I forget to look over at chat, and I probably should do that more often. I try, and just once I get on that road, I'm gone. Tomorrow, I was asked last week to have another caregiver support stream. And we're going to do that at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon. We're going to have a caregiver support stream. If you are a caregiver, if you have been a caregiver to, mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever, and you're struggling and show up, because there's a lot of us out there that are struggling, that have struggled, that can help, help us through it. I think when you're at your lowest and you think nobody knows what I'm going through, and 2 words can help you. And those 2 words are me too. Me too. I am having problems and I feel like I'm, nobody knows. Whew, okay. So, me too is a very important 2 words when you're struggling, especially when you think you're alone. So 2:00 tomorrow, it is very difficult. And you are on an island. You feel like you are a polar bear in the middle of a warm ocean, hanging on to the smallest piece of ice, and you're waiting to die. I mean, it's over. That's what you feel like. Me too. Me too. You too. We'll talk about it. So at 2:00 tomorrow, we're going to do that. I don't claim to be a professional caregiver. I am not a nurse. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. God knows. I am a daughter that is taking care of a mother who has Parkinson's and cancer, and starting in with the dementia, and that's what I am. I don't claim to be a professional. I never have. I'm a daughter struggling with a mother that I can't help. I can't help her. I'm not going to be able to fix this. And I'm not the only one. Yeah. I mean, Janie, it is, or say it, it is so fucking hard. Oh, and you lose your patience and you lose hope. And it's like every day is the same effing day. And what's good, what is this good? And then you've got a husband or a wife or children or grandchildren that you also have to look out for. And a job, some of us, the jobs, and you're going to fit all this in. And now your house is not your house anymore. It's a fucking sick unit. And, it's not happy. So we're just going to talk about it, James. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like a debriefing, Yeah, that's what I think these are, and I should be having them. And I said I was going to have them every other week, and life gets in the way, and so we probably should be doing these every couple of weeks, but we'll try. I can only try. So Wolf Rider, look, it's good right now. In 10 minutes, it might not be good. I don't know, but anyway. So I do appreciate y'all coming. I appreciate you people that are watching on the replay. I really appreciate you. There's like 300 or 400 of you that watch this on the replay, and I appreciate you very much. I thank you very much. So next week, tomorrow's the caregiving. Next Saturday night, me and Janie will be presenting more Murray, a little revisit, and go through that one more time. So I am going to go upstairs, and I guess I'm going to go upstairs and start back on more, because I've kind of been doing these in tandem. So, well, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs and not do this. I am going to go upstairs, and I'm not going to take my laptop, and I'm not going to take any notes. I'm not even going to take my pen. I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to watch Only Murders in the Building, or whatever the hell I want to watch. And I'm not going to do anything until tomorrow. So there we are. All you can do is your best. It's vitally important to find self-care and time. Ted, it is. That is so true. And you shouldn't feel guilty about doing that, but you do. And like you said, even if it's 15 minutes, if you go into the bathroom, take your phone and watch feel good videos, which I posted like Friday. I said, post your Feel Good Friday. You know, I used to do F It Up Friday with some people that y'all don't know. But now, Feel Good Friday. You know, go find a video that's just uplifting in the bathroom with your phone and just be very quiet. Or take a shower. How about that one? That's a great one, too. Yeah, so I'm going to go upstairs with none of this. This is staying down here. The computer's staying down here. I'm going to go upstairs and do absolutely, you go puppies and kittens. I might talk to you, Kathy, but I might not. Anyway, thank y'all for coming. I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next Saturday. If I see you before Saturday, I'm probably going to either be laughing at somebody or pissed. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully neither one, but whatever. So, yeah, I'll see y'all. I do love you. Thank you for stopping in and spending all this time with me. It's a lot of time. And that's why I say I will never put an ad on this channel. You are not going to find an ad. I will not waste your time. You're giving me X amount of time. I'm not going to waste any of it. I'm not going to waste a minute of your time on a damn commercial. So I will. I'll see you tomorrow, 2:00. Okay? Be here. If you're not, I'll come looking for you. Janie, I'm talking to you. Bye. Thank you. Goodbye. I promise I won't get lost again. Bye, everybody.